was
What the fire department got first.
Set up times for a little vacation.
yeah. Yeah, I could use vacation right about now.
Yeah.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It is 7 o'clock on Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. This is the Mayor's Agenda, City of Hannibal Official Council Meeting. I ask the clerk to call the roll.
Mayor Pro Tem Munger,
Here.
Councilman Haycraft,
Here.
Councilwoman Azotea,
Here.
Councilman Cohen,
Here.
Councilman Leaders,
Here.
Councilman Fleetwood,
Here.
and Mayor McCoy.
Here. There being a quorum, I call the meeting to order. Mayor Pro Tem Munger, will you do the invocation, please?
Lord, we just come before you and we ask for your wisdom this evening, wisdom to guide this business, guide what needs to be done in this city. We thank you for all the many celebrations that we were able to have. We thank you for safety, all the citizens. And Lord, we ask your blessings on this community. We thank these things, we pray these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All right, the first item that we have is the approval of the agenda. And before I get a motion or a second, after discussing with some of the other council members, I'd like to move the fireworks item that's on the agenda under Mayor Pro Tem Munger and Councilman Haycraft's name to discuss first, immediately following the approval of payroll and claims.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda as amended. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is the approval of minutes from the regularly scheduled council meeting July 1st, 2025, and the special call council meeting June 27th of 2025.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item, approval of payroll and claims, first half, July of 2025.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item on the amended agenda is going to be Councilmember Haycraft and Mayor Pro Tem Munger.
I'll start. So, no, I think after the last meeting, when we took that vote, one of the things that was discussed was those that voted yes, if it didn't work out well, that we would revisit this. And it didn't work out well. I spoke with the chief, and other than the one big fire that we all know about, but I believe there was, and correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, 6 times as many calls this year, or as many this year as there was in the previous 6 years?
So the number is close. This year we had 5 firework-related calls over the 3rd, 4th, and 5th, and we had 7 over the previous 5 years combined. So we about came close to equaling in 3 days what we had over the last 5 years over those same days. Obviously, the major structure fire is the one that sticks out. And if you look at our calls over those previous 5 years, we did not have any major structure fires or anything of that nature. Probably the most serious call that we had was a couple dumpster fires where somebody had thrown their firework trash into a dumpster, and it had not been extinguished before they got it in that dumpster. We did have one of those this year as well, but the major structure fire is the one that kind of sticks out this year from all the other previous years.
So, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Now, a question for James. Do we have to resubmit that ordinance in reverting, or what's the process of going back on that?
Yeah, it needs to be amended in formal fashion, which would mean you would need 2 readings, but if the council wants to do that, it's pretty easy for me to amend it back to its form.
Well, I'd like to make a motion to amend that back to the original
Second.
form. And also, if we look at doing this again, that, and not closing the door on it, because I know there are some good arguments. I think we have areas in town that are much highly susceptible to these problems. And that's where we're going to see those issues. And if there's a way we can go around that, I know James had some good ideas, through that, and that's something that we can look at. But for now, I think we need to go back on that.
I will state that I was in favor of it before, but after seeing the results of this weekend, I am disappointed. There's still a lot of people who support that and want them, but because of the problems we had, I agree that we should rescind this pending further research and clarification on with new rules. I thought when we put in there that adults, that it would be used in a prudent manner, but obviously that was wrong. And I'm willing to admit I was wrong and want to correct it and go on from here.
Does anybody else?
I second Councilman Cohen's comments.
You can go ahead and talk.
Nope.
Okay. I know that some of you up here already know probably what I'm about to say, but this 4th of July was going to be my first 4th of July. I did not have to work in 22 years, and I was actually looking very forward to it. And in 4 days, almost 5, I had over 200 calls and messages about fireworks. And it was extremely frustrating, disappointing hearing that multiple people were calling in to the police department and told that there's nothing that can be done. And obviously I was one of the 3 that voted against this, and there's reasons why they are not allowed in a lot of cities. So I would certainly like to see this amended.
I have a motion to second on the floor. Is there any other discussion?
Part of that motion, could we make it that James, unless it's understood, that James draft rescission?
That's what I took the motion to be, but that's
Okay,
that's
I wanted to make sure, yeah.
That's what I was going to do for you guys.
Also wanted to understand that as Councilman or Mayor Pro Tem Munger suggested that this isn't necessarily dead, that we can revisit it possibly with other, constraints and requirements in sometime in the future. But for right now, I believe it does need to be.
My concern about maybe ending it is fireworks are so much different than they used to be 20, 30
Yes.
years ago.
Mhm.
We have great fireworks, great service, but they also provide boxes and things like that that people underestimate how strong they are. And they go off, just are not sure which direction they're going, the amount of volatility that comes out of them, the trash that leaves behind on not only your property, but your neighbor's property.
Right.
And that was the biggest was she had numerous trash pickups and some hit her home, her property she felt was a violation.
Oh, I certainly agree right now, rescinding it, but at some point in the future, if somebody wants to pick it up, looking with a lot more requirements. So,
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen and lady. Next item on the agenda, public comments. And we will have, looks like we have 4 that signed up, and we will start with Mr. Wesley Neff. Like to come up to the podium, sir? Have 3 minutes. You are ready.
I'll make this real quick and short, which we've already addressed the issue. I'm just coming as just somebody from the public. I'm not here to complain. I know that your jobs are difficult. But one of the things I see out of my city council is what is in the best interest of the city. what is in the best interest of the people. I do not think that the best interest of the city, especially with the houses being the way that they are, for fireworks to be allowed. I did not participate in fireworks this year. Nobody in my immediate neighborhood did fireworks this year. This is a small portion of what I picked up out of my yard. Nobody on 35th Street in my small block let off any fireworks in those 3 days. Yet this is what I found in my yard, on my house. Much of it is these little plastic things that come in the multitudes of 500 shots, 1,000 shots. One of my issues as far as the best interest of the city is I choose not to drink. And one of the things that we see in our city is there is a lot of participation in alcohol consumption. And you take the multitude of people that have spent an entire day drinking in the heat, not making the best choices, and then they go and buy these artillery shells or these giant cakes that are 500 grams of powder, and they just let them loose. They just let them fly. They put them in the streets. They put them in their yards. I, for one, don't think any of you would appreciate if I came by your house on the 4th of July, stood in the street, and threw this trash in your yard. Nor did I appreciate, because basically that's what was allowed, people to trash my yard. I try to take care of it. I have a child with autism. It was very difficult. We deal with it as best we can. We go through a lot of therapies. He spent 3 days in his house, a 12-year-old little boy with earphones on. It doesn't just affect the sounds, it's the effects that it has on his body when the explosions happen, especially the artillery shells that are so close around my house. I also have a child that is completely dependent upon people. These are artillery shells and these things that were melted on top of my roof. Should they have caused a fire, and maybe I had not known, my daughter has no way of getting herself up and getting herself out of that house. That is true with many citizens in our city. They can't get out of their house. They can't get themselves physically up. So if something was to happen at my home and it was on fire and I had no way of getting my daughter out, I basically have two options. Am I going to walk out of the house and leave my daughter there, hoping that the fire department can get there in time? Or do I choose to die with her? That seems extreme, but it's the truth. And that's how I see that I trust in our city government. I trust in you guys. And I trust that you guys obviously will make the decision that's in the best interest of our city. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mr. Kent Taylor.
My name is Kent Taylor, Kenttaylor. I'm here tonight to request that fireworks ordinance that was passed 2 weeks ago be rescinded. I'm also requesting that the previous firework ordinance be reinstated and enforced this time. I kind of feel like I'm no need to say what I said because you guys just had this conversation. I own 3 historic homes in Hannibal. One of my homes, which is 921 Center, was right next to the fire. We're 9 feet away. The house that burned on the 4th of July due to fireworks almost burnt my house down. I've spent 12 years restoring our home, which sustained tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage due to the fire that was burning a mere 9 feet away, as well as from the efforts of our firefighters to keep the fire from jumping onto our home. I listened to the video, the council meeting, where this new ordinance was passed, and I heard both our fire chief and our police chief strongly advise against the passing of this ordinance. My question to the mayor is, what was your rationale for casting the deciding vote to allow fireworks in our city, especially in a historic district where houses are so close together? As a contractor who specializes in historic homes and buildings, I am well aware of the vulnerability of these structures to fire, built in close proximity with timbers that are hundreds of years old. Many of these buildings are as close as 3 feet apart. I've spoken with Bob Yap, who, as you know, is another expert on historic buildings, who couldn't be here tonight. He and his wife, Pat, asked me to tell the city council that they're both highly against the new ordinance and want to see the fireworks made illegal in our city and have the old ordinance reinstated and enforced. We have a copper roof on our home, which was damaged by the water pressure and the hoses used to protect our house. After the fire was extinguished, I went up on the flat portion of our roof and, looking down, found large pieces of charred wood and smoking embers. If it wouldn't have been for the copper roof, our house would have caught fire, and it would have probably kept jumping from house to house for the whole city block. Our roof is a fire-rated roof and a 100-year roof. I couldn't help but think that it would have taken the whole city block because help couldn't have probably arrived from other neighboring towns in time to save it. We had all of our guys there. This brings me to another question. Would there have been more than 8 firefighters on duty when the call came in on the 4th of July if the ordinance hadn't been passed 3 days before the 4th? I do want to thank the firefighters who left their families and holiday plans and arrived so quickly as possible to help and to save my home. One of my properties is in the 3rd Ward, and I called the 3rd Ward Councilman Robert Cohen and asked him why he proposed this change in the fireworks ordinance, and he told me that the majority of his constituents wanted this. Well, I have yet to find a single neighbor in a 3-block radius of our home that was for this new ordinance. My wife and I pray that no one else has to ever experience watching devastating fire take place only 9 feet from their beautiful home, and not knowing how long it's going to take to get the ball rolling or if we'll even be compensated for our tragic loss. I took bottle rockets off my neighbor's property's roof, Branson Wood, and there was fireworks everywhere around our neighborhood, and there still are. All of the road. We cleaned up 400 or 500 nails out of the street after the fire that were just there, and people were driving over them looking at the fire. I could go on, but the point's been made, and I appreciate your time, and I hope that this is changed and that the people in the city are protected better in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Next up, we have Miss Deborah Wise. Is that right?
So thank you for your time. My name is Deborah Wise, and I've been living and running a small business in Hannibal for 40 years. And over the years, I have had occasion to interact with city officials, and until this most recent experience, have always felt heard. I'm going to just run through the events real quickly. On May 28th...
Hey, Debbie, will you point the microphone down at you a little bit so we can all hear you? Thank you.
Thank you. May 28th, I paid Vincent, my yard guys, to do my yard. 5:29 to 6:27, we had poor air quality alerts and a heat advisory, and Vincent bailed. He also took my electric heating. Anyway, on June the 28th, I got a 10-day notification served by Officer Monday. From 6:29 to 6:30, I contacted my council person, April, who, along with other like-minded folks, began discussing ways in which the plants that between my sidewalk and the street could be saved because it's a city easement. One of the plans was to transplant those native plants like echinacea as well as the 20-year-old Russian sage along with other herbs and heirloom plants to the empty planters on the levee wall. On July 1st at 8 o'clock in the morning, city workers cut down all those plants between the sidewalk and the street. On the 2nd of July, I made an attempt to contact someone about yard maintenance, and that wasn't very successful. So on July the 3rd, I ordered a weed eater from Amazon. It was delivered. I used it briefly. The wheel fell off. I ordered a replacement on the 8th of July, and 7/8 to 7/9, I called the Hannibal Police Department to leave a message explaining my delay and ask for some contact. I received no response. I received my replacement, and then on the 10th, and on the 13th, and so on the 15th, today, I was told by a friend that was waiting in my parking lot that he thought there was a property manager had come by taking pictures of my yard. Although I was home, no one contacted me. No one came to the door. I called the Hannibal Police Department again today, leaving a message asking to be contacted and received no response. There are several properties in town that are overgrown into the street, hindering people from walking on sidewalks, as well as properties and bushes in the easement area, well over 10 inches tall. I have This morning, I spent some time Googling, refreshing my memory in order to be sure that the plants remaining in my yard, with only a couple of exceptions, are native plants or those intentionally planted for years, many of which are over 10 inches tall and are home to many creatures and a source of sustenance for others as well. There are any number of sources which validate this type of yard maintenance, or whatever you want to call it, as a bio-eco-friendly option. Also, there was an article published a few years ago in the Hannibal magazine by former resident Bella Araco, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, which addresses the benefits of this type of land stewardship. I don't have copies for everybody. Oh, but I have. It is my very sincere belief that this could possibly be one significantly small way that we could be part of creating a more sustainable for all of us. I would like to ask if it's possible for the city to re-examine its policy in this regard and the manner in which it is enforced. I know I had a 10-day notification. During that period of time, I had to run my daughter down to St. Louis. Had any number of other things that occurred. I did my best to get it done. I did go out in the rain Sunday and cut manually with my cutter, but I would really like to see that change somehow. The policy maybe reconsidered, and the way it's enforced that would able and allow individual property owners a more eco-friendly choice. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And
I also have, I could drop that. Stewardship is
if you'd like to share that with the council, if you want to send that to the clerk's office, she can distribute that out to the
I'd be
entire
glad
council.
to do
That'd be perfect. I'll
that.
get it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I can add, so on this, the brush was cut on the right-of-way because of a sightline issue. There was numerous people complaining, and once we get a sightline complaint, we go and inspect. HPD, fire department, street department inspect. If there's a sightline issue, we are then liable if there's an accident, so we have to enforce that immediately. And so that is what we did on the city right-of-way.
Thank you, Andy. And then the last person for public comments tonight is Mr. Jeff, is it Harden? Oh, Jeff. Sorry, it's hard to read here.
City Council, Mayor. I don't want to belittle the fireworks thing, but before you amend it, do your homework. Take your time. Like these people, I have a home in a historic district here in Hannibal. There are 5 of those. They were built 135 years ago when the lumber barons were here. They were built with lumber. And their home is right next to that home. My wife and I run a business, a bed and breakfast, 4 houses down from that home. And this is the first time in my life on July 3rd and 4th, I was scared. We had guests staying in our bed and breakfast. And I was genuinely worried about our home, our bed and breakfast, and those guests. I did not sleep. There were mortars going off in our neighborhood, and the windows shook. I mean, I genuinely afraid. I did not sleep. So please, if you're going to amend this, take your time, do your homework, consider everything. Consider everything and try and do the best you can. And I thank you.
Thanks, sir.
Mayor, before we continue, I just want to say, anybody that came tonight and spoke about the fireworks, sir, I am so sorry about your children being traumatized. That is one of the things that I spoke about with PTSD and triggering anybody, whether it's special needs, a veteran, and just like the previous speaker, like my windows are very, very old. That building was built in 1830, I believe, and the windows rattled, the floor vibrated, my animals were terrified, and so I completely get everything that you guys are saying. I'm sorry you guys went through that, and thank you guys for coming and speaking.
Thank you, April. All right, next item on the agenda is Tricia O'Sheltry, Director of Tourism. You got a couple items for us tonight.
Good evening. Before you, I am coming for a special event. Next year, June 9th of 2026, is the 150th anniversary of The Adventures of Tom Sawyer being published. So the first event in front of you is to host a parade to celebrate that. The parade would start at 12th and Broadway, go down Broadway, turn left onto North Main Street, and disperse at North Street. The parade would begin at 10 a.m., line up around 9 a.m., just a typical normal parade. So if there's any questions about that, I will be glad to answer them.
If there's no questions, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Great. Thank you so much. The second event application in front of you tonight is for June 6th. Also to go along with celebrating the 150th anniversary, but also America 250's celebration, requesting to do a lighted drone show to celebrate those two things. In the packet, there was where I am requesting to do this is Clemens Field, the parking lot next to it, and the Norfolk and Southern Multi-Sports Complex, that's a mouthful, to be closed from 1 to 10 p.m. on June 6th. South 6th Street at Warren Barrett to be closed to Woodrow Avenue, including Colfax Avenue, from 6th Street back up to Warren Barrett. In case you're not familiar, that's a loop right there. And barricades being placed on the streets mentioned previously from 8:30 to 10 p.m. and barricades at Clemens Field parking lot beginning 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. We are also requesting some police presence in addition to the HCBB staff, because there's only 2 of us, to help secure the safety perimeter from about 8:50 p.m. until 10 minutes after the drones land on the ground. The show would start between 9 and 9:15 and will last 15 minutes. Also in your packet are some maps of the safety perimeter that we need to have to be able to do the show, and best viewing for the show. The company that we are looking to use included insurance, which is also in your packet, and named the city as an additional insurer on the insurance policy. I think that's everything that I wanted to point out, but I will take any questions.
Who's the company that does that?
There's several out there. This particular one is called Firefly, that we're going to go with, and they've actually kind of already negotiated a very big discount for us. And I've asked the Missouri Division of Tourism to help sponsor this event along with some other events that will be forthcoming, and they're going to help out with that too.
How many drones do they estimate? Just curious.
We have picked the package of 500 drones. So they will actually be like 3D, and we get 6 special designs. So we'll have one of like Tom Sawyer or Mark Twain's face, our logo, the Division of Missouri's tourism logo, since they're going to help kick in for the show, and then a lot of just like Americana, frogs, books, things like that all relate to either America 250 or 150th anniversary of Tom Sawyer. Yeah.
No, we got the bowling alley down there, and we wouldn't want anybody to interfere with bowling alley business. So
it doesn't interfere with anything. It's going to be several feet up in the air.
We're talking about the drones. We're talking about the road closures and everything. You know, like I said, as long as it doesn't interfere with his business, things like that. Because you know, a lot of people will tend to park on his parking lot, whether they're, you know, even though, you know, he may not have no signs, but he may not want people parking on his parking lot. You know?
All I can do is ask people in our marketing messages not to park on business property, as far as that goes. But the road to his business is not one that would be closed down.
The only road closures are south.
It's basically, so if you're looking at your map here, it's basically this whole area around Clemens Field and the
Does it
parking.
involve Warren Baird itself?
No,
No, so
just
it's
6th Street
that's south
to
of
Colfax.
there.
Yeah, so it's everything south of that.
Right, okay.
So strategically, for the amount of space they need and to not interfere with any businesses as much as possible, that's the location that we picked.
Are there any overhead lines in that?
It's all been cleared by the actual company that does it, so they take care of all the FFA regulations. And we've had IT department also in on some of the conversations to make sure everything's okay.
I just don't like that we have to wait a year for this.
Yeah.
I know, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Doing my best here, guys.
Any way you can arrange a preview for them to come and test it? Yeah, it's just-
If you want to give me some money to do that, sure.
Council, can we have $50,000?
It's a
we got
little
that
more than
laying
that,
around.
just FYI. But, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Awesome. We're
Thank
going
you.
to have a great year next year.
Thank you, Trish.
Thank you.
Next up on the agenda is under my name. I have a proclamation that I would like to present to the Nemo Shriners. For those in the room tonight, if you guys want to come up here, by the flag over here. So, okay, so I'm going to read this proclamation. If you guys want to stand right here, sir. The City of Hannibal proclamation, whereas, right? I don't want to mispronounce it. Law Nemo Shriners in Nemo, Missouri, was established in proudly served 5 years. Cars, it has provided fun entertainment to our family, whereas we can help children throughout the world, life-changing hospitals.
doing my best. Great, thanks.
Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of appointments. This is for the Hannibal Development District Commission for second reading for Hunter Haynes for an appointment for a term to expire May of 2028. Anybody want to make a motion to approve?
So moved.
I don't know, Hunter, maybe not. Did you get a second?
I did not.
I have a motion.
Second.
Okay, a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is for first reading for recommendation of appointments to the Employee Benefit Trust Board. I have two tonight. I have Ben Devlin for an appointment for a term to expire in May of 2028, and Jamie Thompson for an appointment for a term to expire in May of 2028. And again, first reading. Another recommendation of appointment for Building Commission, again, first reading, is David Todd, the Department of Public Works. The next item that I have is also under my name in regards to Section 2.12 of the Home Rule Charter Rules of Order, talking about, it's in your packet as well, cleaning up some of the language on agenda items and the councilor drafting resolutions and ordinances, and I think I've spoken to most of you guys about that. There is a bill number 25-056 to follow for a first reading. If you guys have any questions about that, I'm happy to entertain those. If not, we'll move on to the next item is revision of Chapter 7, Section 7-344, Building and Building Regulations. This is cleaning up some language on the wording for the fire chief when it comes to the building commission. Currently, the way it reads is the fire chief sits on that commission. This would allow the fire chief or his designee, which is typically the the guy that does the building inspecting part of this fire department. What am I? Tom's job.
Tom is our fire prevention officer. He works closely
That's just kind of cleaning up some language on that to allow for that to happen, so that way we're making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to. So that is bill number 25-057 to follow. Do you have any questions on that one, council? Okay. Next up, I think I'm done. Andy?
Yeah, so I have two items tonight. First up, we have an ordinance for a first reading on mobile food vendors. The city staff, building inspector, city engineer, city attorney, planning and zoning have been working on this for quite some time. There's really not any good language in our ordinances on this, so this adds some language. So this is up for first reading.
Andy, how long have food trucks not been allowed downtown
Forever.
specifically? Well, not like down to the date, but like I didn't know if there was a reason why we passed to not allow them on Main Street or only for festivals.
We have no idea because it's going to predate me by at least 15 years. I've been city attorney for 22 years, and it was the law and had been the law for some time. Right.
I didn't know if there was like a reason why we passed.
Oh, I can tell you why they passed it. I mean, by looking at it and looking at the content, downtown merchants. So and actually, I've been told this also. Downtown merchants had concerns regarding the competition because they have spent a lot of money on their brick and mortar locations, and it didn't seem fair to let restaurants come in and compete with people that were having to meet the higher standards that we had to do in the downtown area. That's issue number one. And issue number two was I was told this one that they wanted to maintain a more historic appearance, and they felt that like having a bunch of food trucks in a historic area detracted from historic charm and affected the ability of tourists in there. So that one I was told. The other one I surmised from. So.
Gotcha.
So I have a couple of questions here as I was reading through it. Keep talking about food trucks, but this says food vendor, so this would include trailers.
Sure.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. The second one, it says they have to have a license to operate in that location, has to state in the license where they're operating, if I remember correctly. What do we do about these? I know one-time things, there's exceptions that can get approval for, like festivals. What about, does it include those such as the food trucks I know and trailers sitting at Farm and Home parking lot?
Are you talking about business licenses specifically? Because that's an annual.
No, I can help you with that.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason this was brought up is because we have had some pop-up tents that are serving pizza and things like that. They do require a itinerary license or a business license, depending on what they choose. If somebody is going to set up every week, they'll want to purchase a business license. It'd be less cost efficient. In that, we have requirements. Any business owner in the city of Hannibal knows how to obtain a city business license, and one of those requirements is that whether it's a food truck or whatever it is, has to be inspected. Well, we couldn't inspect tents. Our building inspector wasn't able to go inspect anything of these setups and things like that. So Andy cleaned this kind of up for us to make it easier for fire, for Tom Stout and Mike McCarg, and for me to issue a business license. Any food truck that comes into the city of Hannibal does have to have a license, or at least an itinerant license for the day. A lot of the ones that you see set up at Farm and Home, they buy a business license because they come once a month or whatever. They first gain permission from the location. They cannot be on the city property, so they gain permission from the location that they're going to be set up with. Then they have to apply for a business license. They have to be inspected by the building inspector, by the fire, by the health department. All inspections have to be in place and things before any food truck can operate in the city of Hannibal. That's how we make sure they're safe. Plus, they should be paying their taxes like everybody else. So that's kind of why this came up, was because we've had a lot that are not actually food trucks, but are tents or set up or anything like that. And so this was a way for Andy helping us out, kind of clean up how we can make sure they're being inspected, how they're following the guidelines for getting their either itinerant license or business license, and making sure that everything is safe when they're providing food things to.
That's why I just wanted to make sure that this also covered those that came in once a month, like you said, or something like that.
Yes, that's kind
Really two issues. So I think it was last year, the building inspector and the former city manager and the planning and zoning had looked this up, and we're working with the city engineer on some language from other cities. And so just here recently, the tents and everything, so James and I got together and said, hey, we got to finalize this. So we kind of put this together.
So would approval of this, would this allow it to be anywhere downtown? Can we have
They can be on city
of Hannibal.
property.
anywhere on the city property?
Can't be on city property.
It cannot be on city property.
Okay. So if somebody owns space and they would throw it, they can.
But this will include anything selling food items within City of Hannibal. Yes, that's okay. That's all. I just want to make sure.
Yes.
Thank you.
So question, just because, I mean, I get what you're saying, like in regards to competition, but as a business owner on Main Street and hearing from not only locals but tourists, the biggest complaint is that no restaurants' kitchens are open past 9 p.m. I know that Finn's does something till 10 p.m. on like Fridays and Saturday nights doing smash burgers, but there's people constantly coming into like hotels at like 11 o'clock at night that are looking for food. Would it be possible that if a food truck wanted to do something like on a Friday or Saturday night, if they like essentially leased, whether that be a parking spot on Main Street in a designated area only during hours after the restaurant kitchens have closed as an option for food for locals and tourists downtown? Could that possibly?
I can probably make an ordinance do anything you want it to, Council.
Well, don't say that.
I could, but you got to get everybody else to vote for it too. But my point would be not under the existing ordinances, but if that's something that you all want done, yes, I could amend the existing ordinances to make some provisions, because since you've looked at it, you know it says like not on this street, not on this street, blah 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 blah. And that was
in the last 10 years, I think I've had well over 1,000 people like, hey, where are we gonna Domino's, pizza, like nothing downtown.
it came up. Joey was still building inspector. Somebody asked, and where I got my information from was from a couple of downtown business owners. I won't say because they might yell at me throwing them under the bus, but they were the ones that shared with me about how it had been passed. I think it got passed in like the late 70s, early 80s was my understanding.
Even from like 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. as an option, or 9 p.m. to midnight as an option downtown, I would love to see something looked into or possibly discussed even. That's all I have.
Am I up? Yep. Okay, that's okay. Any other discussion on that item? If not, it's bill number 25-055 to follow for a first reading.
Okay, next, the street department recently went out for bids for a new tandem dump truck. We utilize a Sourcewell bid, and we have a low bid of $191,351 for our new 2026 Freightliner 114 SD. This will be, in the history of the street department, the very first new tandem truck we've ever gotten. Everything else has always been used. It is one of our most utilized pieces of equipment. It hauls all our asphalt and aggregates and rocks, and so this will be a truck we have for 15, 20 years probably. So, and this has been budgeted and it's been on the 5-year capital plan as well.
Now, Andy, this price here, did I see it includes everything, so it's ready to roll and start using at this price?
Yep, it includes 5-year warranty, includes all the beds, the tarp. It's lock and stock, so it's ready to go.
That also helps out your manpower.
Yeah, especially on hauling asphalt, it's double what our 2-ton trucks can do. So it significantly helps out on manpower. So
What all the big companies use.
yeah.
Motion. So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve that purchase. Any other discussion? None. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
That's all I got. Thank you, Mayor.
Yep, thank you, Andy. Next up is Fire Chief, Mr. Ryan Nyson.
Mayor, Council, I'm here tonight to amend Article 22 regarding the clothing allowance for the Local 1211 union agreement. Over the last couple months, the Local 1211 and the Hannibal Fire Administration have been working together to amend this article. To give you some history on this, over at least a decade or more, the city has cut the firefighters a $550 check every year, and then they are responsible to provide their own uniforms and those things. As the price of uniforms has went up, when we cut those checks, they have to pay income tax on that $550, and then when they buy an item, they're paying sales tax and shipping charges and things like that. That money isn't quite going as far as it used to. What we're proposing is we're going to a quartermaster system where we would provide all the uniforms for the firefighters. We would no longer cut those checks to them, and we would use that money to provide the uniforms for everybody. This is a budget neutral thing for us. It'd be the same exact money. One of the things, the advantages is by us purchasing the items instead of them, we're tax exempt, and we would maximize those dollars and stretch them out a little farther.
Are you specifically getting these from a certain company?
We have, depending on what it is, we have several different vendors that we use. We have some in St. Louis. We have a T-shirt shop in Canton. We have two vendors in St. Louis that we use. Kind of depends on what it is. Is it a dress uniform? Is it boots, T-shirts?
A couple months ago, I accidentally kind of like ran into a fireman's girlfriend and was kind of heartbroken to hear that she said that anytime like one of the guys rips their shirt and they have to pay for it, and if they don't have any money budget-wise between them, Like he said to her, I'm just going to have to keep wearing that. Like that literally broke my heart.
That's one of the advantages to this. If one of our guys goes on a call and he rips his shirt, he can come to me. Hey, I ripped my shirt on this call. I can hand him a new one. And so
Wonderful. Wonderful.
It kind of solves that issue.
I couldn't believe she said that. And she was like, yeah, he's got to keep wearing this shirt. Now I was just kind of shocked, but yes.
What's complicated about that is you'd think that'd be an easy change, but it has to take a change in the union contract to do this. So the street department and parks department already do this. And so it works really well. Police department does as well. So I know Chief Nice has been really wanting to get this done.
Chief, by doing this, you're in turn buying in bulk, and can you get a cost savings that way as well?
Yeah.
So you can keep them in stock and
some of the things,
some extra,
some of the things, are like pants, maybe I won't keep in stock because different lengths and waists but
you'd have
extra large T-shirts or things like that
you
are
might
common.
be able to arrange a standing contract with the company that.
Yeah, I would imagine that we're going to save. If you figured up what everybody's spending on sales tax and shipping charges and everything, buying stuff just as individuals, it's overall it's going to maximize those dollars.
It'd be nice if some of that could be done locally to keep money locally, but I understand like cost-wise, like being able to save money with different companies in St. Louis, wherever, but.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Chief. Thank you. Next up is Ms. Bianca Quinn, Finance Director. I think you have 2 items for us tonight. Is that correct?
I do. The first item is to address a few errors that we found on the payroll ordinance that was passed that we need to correct. There were a couple of police officer salaries that were not listed in the ordinance that we need to add. And due to a calculation issue, the firefighter salaries were off by about $10 to $18. Not a large amount, but we need to go ahead and get that correct. So I ask that we pass that ordinance.
Okay. Council, you have any questions? If not, that'll be bill number 25-058 to follow.
My second item is the contract of obligation for the landfill. In accordance by the requirements by the Missouri Department of Natural Resources, we are required to have council pass a resolution to set aside the amount that, should we fail to fulfill our post-closure requirements, they could withhold the sum of $171,000 to pay for the post-closure requirements. This landfill has been closed for 27 years now. We have 3 more years to go where we have to have a resolution for this obligation.
It is the gift that keeps on giving every single day.
It does go down each year.
And should we continue to do like we should, then this money is not ever spent.
Not. It's just your promise that you'll pay.
Council, any other questions for Bianca? If not, that item will be resolution number 2560-25, 2560-25 to follow for approval. And thank you, Bianca. And I think last up is Mr. Matthew Munslinger, Board of Public Works, Director of Operations.
Good evening. At numerous meetings, we've talked about the price of capacity and how it impacts our user rates, and the cost has escalated from paying less than $45,000 annually to paying about $11.5 million over the past 4 years. Last year, we started talking with other municipalities in Zone 5 of MISO, or the Balancing Authority, about what we can do to help reduce our cost and also look into the future about what we can do to hold those costs as much as we can. And a project that resulted out of those conversations was the Northeast Generation Project Phase 1. That results in roughly 79 megawatts of generating capacity, some that would be built potentially out here in the business park. Some more of it would be built in Fulton, Missouri. Allowing the 2 locations diversifies, should we have an issue with the grid in this area, we still get some capacity coming out of the Fulton location. And so what I'm here to ask you tonight is approval, first reading on Bill 25059 that would allow our participation. That would be for roughly 38.2%, I believe is what it is, of the 79 megawatts or 30 megawatts. I am bringing this to you before the board has approved it, and the reason for that is because it needs 2 readings. Time is of the essence, and rather than do an emergency reading at your August 5th meeting, bring it to you for first reading tonight, approval by our board on the 21st, and then back to you for the second reading on the 5th of August. Any questions?
We're running out of power all over the world. Even in the Netherlands, you know, they're having to reduce all of their electric uses because their systems can't handle it. So I kind of understand what you're saying.
Good.
Thank you.
Anybody else? All right, like Matt said, that'll be bill number 25-059 to follow for first reading. All right, you ready, Melissa? Got a bunch of them.
I'm ready when you are.
All right, next item on the agenda is bill number 25-054. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a second and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 25-054, an ordinance revising Article 6 Boards, Commissions, etc. by amending Division 5, Convention and Visitors Bureau, Section 2-409, Membership. Second and final reading. Mayor Pro Tem Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft,
Yes.
Councilwoman Azatea,
Yes.
Councilman Cohen,
Yes.
Councilman Leaders,
Yes.
Councilman Fleetwood.
Yes.
I declare bill number 25-054 duly approved and adopted on this day. Next up, we have bill number 25-055. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 25-055, an ordinance revising Chapter 15 License Taxation and Miscellaneous Business Regulations, such amendments to be regarding food trucks. First reading.
All right, next item is bill number 25-056. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion and a second on the floor. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 25-056, an ordinance regarding rule of order and procedure pursuant to Chapter Section 2.12 of the Home Rule Charter of the City of Hannibal. First reading.
Next item is bill number 25-057. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Bill number 25-057, an ordinance revising Chapter 7 Buildings and Building Regulations, Article 5 Dangerous Buildings and Structures, Section 7-344, Building Commission created, composition and responsibilities. First reading.
Next item is bill number 25-058. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Bill number 25-058, an ordinance of the City of Hannibal amending the fiscal year 2025-2026 payroll ordinance number 1 relative to the additional of certain police officer salaries and correction of certain fire department salaries. First reading.
Next item is bill number 25-059. I need a motion to have the clerk give this bill a first reading.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Bill number 25-059, an ordinance authorizing the City of Hannibal, Missouri to enter into a unit power purchase agreement with Missouri Joint Municipal Electric Utility Commission, DBA Missouri Electric Commission. First reading.
Next item is resolution number 2560-25, 2560-25. I need a motion to have the clerk read this resolution and call the roll for adoption.
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Resolution 2560-25, A resolution of the City of Hannibal authorizing the mayor to execute a contract of obligation between the city and the Missouri Department of Natural Resources for the requirements of the post-closure of a solid waste disposal area in the amount of $171,040. Mayor Pro Tem Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft,
Yes.
Councilwoman Azatea,
Yes.
Councilman Cohen,
Yes.
Councilman Leaders, and Councilman Fleetwood.
Yes.
Now declare resolution number 2560-25 duly approved and adopted on this date. Last item is closed session. I need a motion to go into closed session in accordance with RSMO 610.021. Item 1, admitting myself, city council, city manager, city attorney, and city clerk.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Mayor Pro Tem Munger,
Yes.
Councilman Haycraft,
Yes.
Councilwoman Azatea,
Yes.
Councilman Cohen,
Yes.
Councilman Leaders,
Yes.
and Councilman Fleetwood.
Yes.
All right, we're now in closed session. Thank you.